Hello everybody, my name is Marlo and welcome back to another episode of Hardcore Minecraft, where today we are going to be building a foundry in our world, and inside is going to be something that will hopefully be quite important for this world and I'll get some good use out of it. But before we talk about any of that and start any of the building, I need to do quite a lot of resource gathering because this build, it's quite a big one. And it's going to require a lot of copper. Probably all of my supplies here, maybe even a little bit more. Thankfully, I have some in the shulker box to smelt up to get a little bit extra that I got from next week's episode. I know that's a little bit confusing. I'm recording in a bit of a strange order at the moment. All will make sense next episode when you watch that video. But the point is, I have some copper here to smelt up to get even more than I already have. The thing is, I am not going to be using this type of copper. No, I would like the fully oxidized copper. I think it's actually the color of my roof, my starter house that is at the moment. That is the type of copper I want, not this one. So I've been doing some Googling as to how to get that in a quick way. And it turns out that if you place copper spaced out 1, 2, 3, and 4 blocks, so that's 3. 4 blocks in between all of them, that is the fastest way to oxidize them. I'm not really sure about Y levels, but yeah, I'm going to have to turn all of my copper blocks into fully oxidized copper. Otherwise, the build just isn't going to look as good. And yes, I know I could just place in the regular copper and it would oxidize over time, but that's going to take really long. And believe you me, it just looks so much better when it's fully oxidized. So the first thing I'm going to have to do is plant down so much copper and just take up a huge area and let it oxidize. And I'm also going to have to get some deep slate and some jungle wood and some bricks as well. That's the main bulk of the block palette. I was just having a little bit of a crisis because, as I said, I need jungle wood for this and I only have 5 saplings, which probably isn't enough because something about jungle trees is they don't have a good return rate on saplings. It's really annoying, and I was thinking, is 5 going to be enough, or am I going to have to walk all the way to the jungle biome, which is like 3,000 blocks away? I completely forgot. I have an elytra now. That just made me really quite happy. Saves me a lot of time. Anyway, let the resource gathering montage begin. For those wondering, the copper took over 3 hours to fully oxidize, and this is what it looks like, or at least what a section of my copper field looks like. We'll call him David. And basically, I set myself up AFK too far away, so I had over half of my copper just not loaded in while I was AFKing. So long story short, I had to AFK for nearly 7 hours in total, which really isn't ideal for me right now. But it's okay because, as you can see, we have all of this oxidized copper, which I'm hoping should be enough for the build here, which we are pretty much ready to get started with now. But before we do, I have something pretty cool to show you. It requires me to take my armor off, or at least my elytra. I now have the migration cape. Oh yes, I now have a Microsoft account for Minecraft. I'm not really happy about having to do that. I don't think anyone really is. But a bonus is you do get the cape, which I must say is pretty cool. It's nice to actually have one of these. And if you didn't know, it actually turns your elytra into the cape itself. Pretty cool. So we're going to be setting the build up just around the corner here off the edge of our pathway, which leads to the Amethyst Tower, and it's going to go right here in front of me. I'm pretty sure this area is big enough. I'll probably have to flatten the terrain so it's all pretty much level, either on this Y level or this one down here. Undecided just yet, but yeah, we're ready to start the build. So cue the time lapse, which is in the form of a building montage. I hope you guys enjoy. So here is the finished Foundry, as far as the exterior is concerned at least, and I really hope you guys like this build. I actually had so much fun putting this together, trying some different things out with the block palettes and branching out of my comfort zone ever so slightly. Not by a whole lot, I'm still sticking to the usual stuff, but yeah, trying some things out, and all in all I am just super duper happy with how this build came together. And I think my favorite part of this build is just how much movement we have integrated into it. Moving like this lamb is. What is going on? But yeah, I love that in builds. We got the smoking chimneys, of course. This one, it's a little bit bigger than our smaller ones. We got some hay bales underneath the campfires to make the smoke rise even further. We also have 2 water pipes on either side of the foundry. Not really sure what they are for. Maybe it'll make a bit more sense when we do the interior, but yeah, that's just adding a little bit of extra fun bits of detail on the sides. And then of course we have our minecart, which you can see moving around on the inside, and it's meant to be coming back here to collect the ores, and I just love it. It really makes a build so much better when you can have moving elements integrated into it. Hopefully you can see why I've chosen to use the oxidized copper instead of just a regular here. It doesn't actually look too bad down the bottom, although I feel like it's a bit too close to the brick and the granite here. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to fully oxidize, but it's more so towards the top on the roof section. We have all of this cut copper up here, and I think just the regular copper is far too bright and vibrant for all of the dullish dark colors we have towards the top here. So I don't know whether it's just my color blindness failing me and this actually looks awful. You guys will have to let me know. But I certainly think it'll look better than having the really bright normal copper. I know I could have just let it oxidize on its own. I believe I said that earlier. But I didn't really want to have this build here for multiple episodes not looking as good as it could. I've also just thought that you may need this explained to you. I don't know how obvious it is to all of you guys watching, but basically they are windows or some sort of shutters for the roof to let smoke out, or the hot air, or to let cool air in, or ventilation. I don't know what it would be for, but yeah, we just got some of these in the roof. So of course these are the open shutters with the nether brick fences, but I didn't want to do it on all of them, trying to break away from just the pure symmetry. So we got a couple of them that are closed. We just got one on this side, and I believe it's 2 open and 2 closed on the other side. So yeah, that was just something to add to the roof to break away from the fact that it's literally all deep slate tiles. I think it would have been a bit too much if I had left it very plain like I originally had. So we are now ready to head inside and start doing some work here. And in case I haven't said already, or if I for some reason haven't put it in the title, although I probably have knowing me, we are going to be building a super smelter inside of here. Yes, that is going to be really helpful. I mean, it always is for any survival or hardcore world. You have to smelt things, it's part of the game. So we are going to be building a 32 furnace array inside of our foundry here. And of course adding some more bits and bobs and some other fun things to make it feel even more alive, which I'm really looking forward to. And we got to smooth out the roof and all of that jazz. But to begin with here, I think we should probably get the super smelter itself in position before starting anything else. I can already tell that this minecart is going to provide me with so much entertainment. It already is, honestly. And the whole reason I've got this added in here is because I have a very vague memory of when I was a child going into a shop. I want to say it was a sweet shop or a candy shop, something like that. But going into there, and they had this like toy steam train going around on a loop in a track just at the top of the shop, like going in a big circle, and you could just watch it go around for hours. Maybe not hours, but a long time, and it was fun to watch. It really cheered me up as a child. It probably would still now, so that is exactly why I built it here in Minecraft in our foundry, just to watch it go round on loop. Oh boy, I forgot how expensive super smelters are to make. I need 1.5 stacks of just hoppers alone. Oh man, yeah, that was painful watching all of that iron disappear. Super Smelter, check, all in working order. I haven't done a test in this world, but I have it in my creative one, and it is literally exactly the same, so I do not know why it shouldn't work. It was a little bit fiddly to get it to exactly the way I wanted it to. There's multiple kind of factors that go into this, such as minecart speed. They have to be going fast enough, so I had to get enough powered rails in position, which is a little bit tricky when you've got a build surrounding it with not a lot of room to work with, which is why we have the redstone blocks there powering the ones on the corner, and some hidden, whoa, dodged the carts, there we go. This is like a whole nother game. We're playing Frogger here. We got some levers down on the corner there to power the bottom ones, and it keeps them going at a constant speed, so certain furnaces don't get more fuel or items than other ones. It's a little bit tricky, and they got to go further than 1 block past the furnace, which I recently found out. So this has to be 2 blocks past the first hopper, so that this first furnace doesn't get more items than the other one, and it's all evenly distributed. So yeah, the Super Smelter is going to be working when we do eventually get some items to go inside of it. We've already built the Foundry. If it doesn't work at this point, well, I don't want to find out now, basically. So all of the items, you're probably wondering where they go. They do not go into the barrels here. These are just for extra storage, probably of just fuel I'll put inside of there. They actually work their way to this central dropper, which we are going to hook up to a pipe, similar to what we have on the outside with the jungle wood thing. And with the trapdoors there, we're going to make a little bit of a chute going up and then along, and they're all going to like fire out onto the floor in a little collection system. Just another fun thing to add even more movement to this already rather moving build. But we're not going to do that just yet. We are instead going to smooth out the ceiling and maybe do part of the floor here, because yeah, we're certainly missing that from the Foundry here. There we go, that's looking a whole lot nicer. We got some lanterns hanging down just to provide some light. We can probably actually go ahead and get rid of these torches now, come to think about it. But as you can see, I've also kind of linked up the chimneys just to make it look as though they're doing something. In an ideal world, I'd like to be able to link it up to the Super Smelter and have like a big forge at the back here or something like that, but it just didn't really work out that way. So yeah, I've just added a cobblestone. That's not cobblestone. That's cobbled deep slate. A cobbled deep slate wall going in between all of them. We can kind of see the campfire through the trapdoor. Considering the circumstances of the build, I'm pretty happy with how that all looks, and generally just kind of smoothing out the ceiling here. So yeah, that's the roof all done. Still got to do the floor. We've done all the Super Smelter, but you can see we're kind of missing a spot that's looking a little bit empty. This right over here, which is actually right on the wall of the jungle trapdoor pipe thing. I'm not going to bust a hole open, otherwise it's going to flood my rails probably. But it's right behind that wall, so what we're actually going to do is just whip up a quick furnace of sorts. It's basically just something to fill in this open looking gap. This is now being moved over by a block because I missed the water to the pipe from the outside here. So there we go. That gives the water somewhere to originate from. Just connecting the outside of the build to the interior. I like to do that when possible. Haven't been able to with the other pipe, but there we go. It's okay. So we got this little bit of a forge furnace thing on the side made out of pure copper. I'm actually quite tempted to wax this because I kind of like how the bright copper looks in this situation, especially with the acacia. But we got some campfires underneath producing a little bit of smoke, adding in some particles to the build. More movement and life. I love it. Hope you guys are on board by now. But yeah, kind of heating up the water maybe and flowing out the pipe. I have no idea what it's doing, but it's doing something, which is better than not doing anything at all, I guess. You know, I should probably make these pipes lead somewhere. I think for this one, round to the left-hand side of the build, I'm actually okay with it just flowing into a singular hole. I might make a bit of a different rim than just having the natural stone. Maybe some copper potentially could be quite nice, or some more jungle, but just flowing into that one by one. Maybe dig it down a little bit so it actually looks like it's going somewhere potentially. But round the other side here, where are my rockets? I can get there a bit quicker now. This is how lazy I am. I probably could have walked just as quickly, but I'm thinking we could make some sort of like pond here, but have it be a little bit corrosive maybe. We could pretend this isn't water and is instead something not that nice, one of the nasty outputs of the Foundry here, and kind of have like a diseased pool of sorts. We'll come back to that shortly. I'll probably just do it off camera and show you guys afterwards. But yeah, I think now is a good time to start on our pipe here, which is where all of our smelted items are going to go and shoot out of, and as well, we're going to complete the floor. Bit of an update for you guys. It is done. So let me show you around everything I've finished off here. So as you can see, the floor is complete with the exception of that block. Whoopsie, must have forgot that one. Let me just go grab a stone brick real quick. Where is stone brick? We'll just get 2 of them. There we go. So yeah, the floor is done. Keeping it pretty simple here, just stone brick with some cracked. I wasn't sure what else to pick from, and I think it works well with the rest of the build. Kind of keeping the attention away from the floor and looking at everything else, with the exception of our hazard carpets here. So this one is covering up the hoppers that the items are going to fly out of our pipe that we've built here. So that's covering up the hoppers. It's covering up just glowstone here because I needed to light up this area somehow, and that's the best idea I had. So yeah, we just got a bit of a warning carpet on the floor. Don't step there. Don't step underneath the pipe. I think that makes sense, right? So yeah, this is our pipe here, as you can see. We'll see it in action later when we give it a test real quick, but the items basically go out the bubble column and fly out and fall onto this and are collected in the chest here, as you can see. There we go. So I think that's all I've done on the inside here. I'm pretty sure I have done a couple of things with our water pieces outside, but first of all, it's getting dark, so I need to go to bed. And I cannot rest. There are monsters nearby. They're always nearby. I'm underneath or just above a cave, and I can never find a spot to go to bed. This one will do. I think I figured out that the mob noises are not actually coming from the caves. They are instead coming from, please don't be a creeper, a skeleton. There we go. They're coming from behind these pillars here, our copper ones, and I've got 8 of them in total. Actually, I've got 12 of them in total, so yeah, I'll light them up in a second, but first of all, let me show you what we've done with our pipes here. So for this one, around the left hand side, as I said we are going to do, kept it pretty simple, just surrounded it with andesite, and we've got an iron trap door serving as a not a gate, not a drain. There we go, that's the word I'm thinking of, a drain, and it goes on and just flows through to somewhere else. I'm not sure, but yeah, well, that's what we got around this side. Then around the other side, we've got our desolate pond of sorts here. I would like to really add some dead bushes. You can see around the terrain we kind of have a couple of grasses. It would be nice to have some dead bushes just to show it's killed them off, but I don't have time to make a trip to the desert right now because it's getting really late and I need to go to bed. Also, my head really hurts because there's an arrow inside of it. Oh, I feel much better. I'm fine. So yeah, we just kind of made some path blocks and some coarse dirt and did some more stuff underneath, just making it look like a not very nice pond pretty much. So we just have one last thing to do before we can call this build fully complete and in working order, and that is to test the super smelter. So our items to be smelted go in the top chest here, and our coal or whatever fuel we're using goes in the bottom chest here. Now this should perfectly distribute all the items. We should have a coal in each of the furnaces and 8 sand in all of the furnaces too. So we should get like the perfect amount here. And if we just send this on its way, now I'm not going to panic if one of the furnaces doesn't light up because there is a good chance something, no, we're all good. I thought a block or something might have fallen into one of the back hoppers clogging up the system, but no, it hasn't. And as you can see here, we're all looking pretty good, nice and even. We should get 2 and then 3 on the way back home. And then, as you can see here, here comes the items, which is most certainly my favorite part of this build. I absolutely love it, and I've made it big enough so that they 100% of the time go in. I'm not going to get any losses, and yeah, I should just sit back and watch this thing work all day long. We got our minecarts running around for the super smelter. We got our one up the top here. I can hear the chimney smelting away, and we've got all of our items in a steady stream flying into our chest here. So yeah, this is actually really cool. I haven't tested it properly like this, seeing them continuously fire out. It's nice to see how constant it is, and there's not like any gaps or anything. Very, very satisfying, I must say. Until now, where it appears to have stopped. Why would that be? I don't know. Slightly worrying. Or is that just all of the was that all of the items? No, that definitely was not all of the items. Where has my glass gone, Minecraft? What have you done with it? Is it stuck down here? Is it stuck in the pipe? I have no idea. Let's turn it off and do some investigating. I figured it out, and it's not really that big a problem at all. As you can see, we still got some sand in all of the furnaces here, and I think all that's happened is this minecart chest hasn't been able to make its way all the way around and back and deposit all 4 stacks before each of these furnaces ran out of the single piece of coal I gave them. So basically, in future, I'm going to have to send the fuel around first and stock it up a little bit, which I will have, you know, full stacks in here most of the time. I would imagine I'll go dump all of my coal into here soon enough, and then send this one round afterwards. So it's still in working order. I just made a bit of a silly mistake. So there we go, everybody. That is gonna do it for today's episode of Hardcore Minecraft. I really hope you guys have enjoyed watching and you liked the build. Just to let you know, next week's episode is actually going to be a Q&A caving episode, so I'll be answering some of your guys' questions that I asked for a few weeks ago on my community post. So yeah, that should be a fun one, and then we'll be back to the regular episodes the following week. So look forward to that. Thank you for watching this one. Really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.